What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live. Welcome back to the family. If you're watching this over again, we're going to be doing some free analysis. My mod sent me a bunch of different things to analyze today. So I'm going to actually download the image so that we can go through it. It's a bunch of pairs he said that I should analyze. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So 1 second. Caramel Live say, yes, sir, we live. Yo, I was just, I'm just about to download the image that you sent me so that we can analyze those pairs today. So give me 1 second. I'm doing that right now. I have to, there we go. Here it is. How do I save this? Okay, save image as. I'm going to say, bro, do you mind if I call you Carmelo? Every time I talk to you, I always say Carmelo before Caramel Live. If you're not cool with it, it's all good. Raizaki said, good day. What's good, Raizaki? Welcome to the live. We're going to be doing some analysis today. Baco say, hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I can send one on Discord if you need me to. No, I got it. DJ Mustang Sapphire. What's good, everybody? Oh, man, it's going to be a good live today, man. Give me 1 second, guys. Caramel Life sent me a bunch of pairs that he wants me to analyze for you guys. So we're going to go through that, and then you guys can also give you this your suggestions. So give me 1 second. Caramelos. Pairs. Okay. All right, cool. So let me open that up here, and then we can take a look together. All right, and then I can switch my screen as well. So give me 1 second. All right, cool. Let me switch my screen so you guys can see what's good. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Caramel. So yeah, I don't care. Everyone calls me just Caramel. It's just a nickname from boxing. Got you. Got you. Ah, that's a pretty cool nickname. I can imagine why they called you that. It's pretty sick. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do some analysis. These are the pairs that Caramel, aka Carmelo, sent me for us to analyze today. So we're gonna get into all of these. All right. Welcome to the live. Welcome back to the the stream. Welcome back to the family. We're gonna do a lot of analysis today. We're not gonna waste any time yapping today. We're gonna get straight into it. So by the way, guys, if you guys have a pair that's on here or not on here, sorry, that you want me to analyze, go ahead and just drop it in the chat. Let me also real quick just post the Discord link. Okay. And then I'm going to go like this so I can pin this real quick. All right. That way, if anybody wants to join the Discord, they can. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're going to get straight into it. So we're going to start off with Euro GBP since it's the first one on the list. Professor said, howdy, gents. Was good, Professor? What's good? Welcome back to the chat. Welcome back to the family. Welcome back to the live. Let's get straight into it. Euro GBP. All right. All right. All right. Let's take a look. It's still 10 o'clock. We might find some trades. So I'm going to be as quick as I can so that, if there's any trades. Do we already analyze this? There's a bunch of drawings on here. All right, cool. So let's look at the weekly for Euro GBP. We can see here that in prehistorically, this is a pair that's been going like this, right? Up, essentially down, then up some more, down a little bit more, and now we're here. Okay, this is the simplistic way of putting it. That way we can just see more. Mozart said, what's up? What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the chat, the family, and the live. We can see simply that price has just gone up, down, and right now these are the areas that we're fighting. So prehistorically, this pair has been trending up. Okay, we can't. It's not one of those where it consistently goes up and retraces a little bit. Like it's gone down, quite a bit. If you use the fib right here, you can see, okay, that price retraced all the way back down. This area would be like the 90s area, right? So the retracements are pretty deep. So it helps us to understand that overall, we're in a bit of a bullish trend. You can see over here as well that for the last, I don't know, almost 10 years or so, 8 years, price has been consolidating or ranging in this area, right? So that helps us to know that in the long term, we're overall in a range. And we can see from up here, okay, that there's something within this area that price is obviously not able to break past. So we haven't made an all-time high in a very long time. Our highest, the last time we made an all-time high basically was in 2008, okay, right before the crash. All right, so we're hovering in this area, which tells me that even though price may eventually push down, I think we're poised to actually go towards the upside. And considering that prehistorically we've been going up, I feel like within the next, I don't know, might be a year, 6 months, whatever the case is, we might be going up to the upside. All right. So let's get rid of these so that it's not too much on our chart here. So now that we know that we've been kind of ranging within this area, we need to see within this range, have we been more, going towards the upside or more towards the downside? And you can kind of see just by doing this, let's say, oops. Okay, there you go. Just by doing this, a couple trend lines here and there. Obviously we have, like I said, we're in a range, but we can adjust the trend line a little bit. Okay, we can say, okay, if we try to even it out, what are we looking at? Okay, I look at it like it's a little bit like this, and I can see it's a little bit slightly like that. Okay, this is all speculative, right? This is me forcing my imagination on the chart, but I'm just trying to see what we're most likely to do. And when I look at it from that range, I can even put the line graph there to kind of give me a little bit of a better understanding, let's say, if I wanted, right? Even if I did this, you can still see most of it is kind of like that. All right, cool. I can see that since this is what we're looking at in terms of price action, since we were already bullish and price is leaning toward, this is what we're seeing right now. This is basically what I'm seeing. Price is slowly declining like this, right? In a channel, which means when price wants to break, okay, when price wants to break, it should, even if it goes down a little bit first, it should eventually do this. So I'm overall, again, bullish. This is all confirming for me that in the long run, we should be going towards upside. Now, I could be dead wrong. We can see all these rejections here, which may indicate that we are actually going towards the downside. But this is what I'm looking at, all right? So now that I have that in mind, if I'm swinging, I understand a lot of swing traders trade from the 4-hour. I have to look at areas as to where I feel like, okay, this is going to be some area of importance where I can hope to get something out of it. So first things first, let's draw our support and resistance zones right here. You can see clearly right here that this area is a strong area of support. Okay, and even if you dragged it towards the left side right here, okay, we still get some touches over there, but we're focused over here a little bit. We can see price came in here, went down, broke above, and has come back down to this area. So what's happening now? Here's what we've got. We've got price struggling within this area to break this low. Okay, but since it tapped into the zone, it shot up significantly, almost took out these highs. Okay, so again, because I am overall bullish, I'm looking for areas that I can anticipate getting into. At this point, again, if I'm swinging, I'm looking for price either to tap back into the zone or to show me my pattern that I'm looking for. I would have to go down to like the 1 hour and start looking at, things that I can look at for confirmation. So for example, if we were here before, since I'm swinging, doesn't matter the time frame or the time of day. If we're swinging before and price did this, right? Because you guys know my pattern. I'm always going to use my pattern to illustrate to you guys how I would trade. If I saw this, I would get in. Okay, I'd be in around here, or maybe even wait for a retracement, let's say. Okay, so let's wait for price to come back to maybe right up about here. We're waiting for aiming for a 1 to 2, because that's how I trade, right? I'd wait for price to return back to that level, and then that would be my entry, right? Because we've come to a very strong zone and price is giving me a nice response. If we've already missed this, then I'm waiting for price to either, okay, here's the next thing we can do. If we've already missed this, I'm waiting for price to see like what it does, over here. If price starts breaking towards this upside here, okay, price goes up, down a little bit, starts doing this, I have to ask myself 2 questions. Is this a retracement or are we reversing towards the upside? Considering the fact that I'm bullish, I'm more long-term that way. So I'd most likely look for another re-entry around this zone. Okay, I'd be looking to say, okay, once price breaks above this, looking for a retracement, something that shows that we're going towards the upside. If not, and price returns all the way back here, again, I'm looking for my pattern. It's just as simple as that. Okay, now I'm going to go down and show you guys what I think will happen as a scalper. So this is what's happening on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we have this range here where price is not really, where we at? Breaking past these zones. We're not really getting past here yet. The range hasn't fully developed, but you can see there's a chance it might range. At the same time, we are in the long term looking for price to go towards the upside. So we can start to kind of see where we might be able to get back in when it comes to buys. Now, because we're at this strong zone, I am not going to touch anything until it breaks, to be quite honest, and I'll tell you why. If price comes back to this level, okay, and starts dancing here and then goes up a little bit, this is indecisive movement. You need a clear break in some direction to say, okay, this is where we're going. Because at this point, price can come in here and then shoot all the way down and take us all out. So I would personally on GBP, Euro GBP, sorry, I would wait for some sort of confirmation towards the upside. Now, if I'm aggressive, okay, if I'm being aggressive, I can start looking at areas where I can say, okay, if price returns back to, let's say, here, because this gap, even though it kind of got violated, still was a decent, let's say push or pull or whatever the case is, I can possibly look at something like this. I can go down to the 15 now, right, at the 15 and start looking for other areas where I can say, okay, if price returns here, I might be able to get in. So you can see here that just looking at this, we had this gap right here. Again, price kind of violated it, but it stayed within that zone. At this point, there's a bunch of gaps from this. Again, even as a scalper, guys, I'm not really hopping into anything. But again, if we're going to be aggressive, we have a gap here. Okay, we have a gap here. And as you can see, we have a whole bunch, which tells you what? Price, if it does retrace, might want to come and close all these out because there's too many gaps. I have found when there's a lot of gaps like this, it is a good indication of a strong trend, but price may just want to come back with a vengeance and absolutely wipe this out. Okay, so what I would be looking for now at this point is as soon as price gets into this area, this first area here, I'm waiting for it to do what it has to do. I'm not too confident about this considering where we are, but if I'm scalping, all I need is a quick 1 to 2, right? Okay, so Professor said USD JPY. Okay, I'll add that to the list. I think Caramel added that to the list already. Let me see. Oh, it's not on here. Okay, cool. I'll add that to the list. Mozart said, hey, what up? Bro, you helped me out, bro. I saw you with your Google Sheet, so I made a screener for my Paris and journal. That is absolutely fire. I already said this yesterday in the live. I'm going to be creating more products and stuff like that will help you guys out with things like that if you guys want it. So I'm really glad that helped you out. Mufunda said, greetings from South Africa. What's good, South Africa love? I want to have a talk with you. Can I send a message on your IG? Yes, you can message you on IG. I'm going to be opening up a channel for one-on-one talks. So message you on IG. We'll take it from there. Yelomi said, present in class. What's good, Yelomi? Welcome back. Tommy Apel is in here. And Vert said, I'm here. Sup, guys? What's good? We have the family in here, man. It's going to be beautiful. So again, as I was saying, these are the zones I'm looking at. And then here's the last thing I'll say as well. Considering we're at this strong zone, I would say, guys, just stay out the market for now. For you, GBP, if you're scalping, stay out the market. If you're swinging, guys, wait for the break on this level or for price to violate this level. Okay, or at least show you the pattern you're looking for. You might be waiting for an engulfing. You might be waiting for a hammer. And what would it be? Morning star or evening star? Morning star. Something. You might be waiting for some candlestick pattern that, you're looking for to get back in. I would say be a little bit patient when it comes to Euro GBP. All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one is Euro CAD. Okay, let's take a look at that. I suppose they're probably very similar, but let's see. Oh, no, they're not at all. Not at all. This looks a lot more like GBP JPY, to be quite honest. When I zoom out, GBP JPY had something like this and then just tanked and then kind of did this retracement up like this, right? So here we are. Price has done that and now has come back in here. So I'm more looking like this. This is what I'm looking at. Only because prehistorically, price has been going down. It gave us a really strong push towards, let me just zoom out for you guys. It gave us a very strong push towards the downside here, and since then price has been slowly, right, it even broke another low here, but slowly kind of like creeping up towards this side here and hasn't really broken this high and now has made another lower low. So at this point, I'm anticipating that history will repeat itself and eventually something within this range is going to help us to go back down. So already that's my analysis. I'm looking at it like this. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. So at this point, because I am bearish overall, I'm going to start looking at areas where price may, use to go down. Now, we also have to keep in mind, you can see here, there was a little bit of a, like a tiny consolidation here. Oops. Okay. Again, these are all subjective. You can draw it like this. You can literally angle it from here and I don't know, do it like this because it depends on where you're drawing these, right? Sometimes you look at this and say, okay, these are all manipulations. This is more consistent. There's so many ways to draw, but the whole point is that price seems to be squeezing within a range, some form of a range, okay? And usually when you see stuff like this, it's supposed to and then continue upwards, okay? So that is a little bit of conflicting information for me, but nonetheless, I'm still overall bearish. So what can we do? We can now mark up some zones that we can see are obviously significant. we have something like this here where you can see price, at least within this recent range, has been giving us a bit of problems. Overall, it has had a lot of taps, so it is some sort of a strong zone, but I like to see a little bit cleaner support and resistance than this. I don't like when it's kind of running through the whole graph. But again, just at least in the short term here, you can see it's been a bit of a strong area and price is pushing down. Okay, so now when I go down to the daily, I can get a better look. So on the daily, we can see price was going up, broke this channel, went down. We also have down here, right? This seems to be some sort of a significant level that price came and tapped into this zone here and is pushing towards the upside. And you can even see it gave us the pattern that I look for. Okay. And now here we are. So I would have waited for something in here to take it back towards the upside. Okay. So this is all telling me that at least for the meantime, we're still possibly, even though it's broken and it's making bearish move, we're still possibly able to maybe go up. Because of this zone, I would say this, my range for taking a trade is anywhere from here to here. If price enters this region, I'm going to wait. If price comes anywhere into this region, I am not going to, I'm going to like literally sit on my hands and wait to see what it's going to do, because this is a high area of contention. Okay, so while we're in this free range, at this point that price has now broken, let's say this really short term, you know, swing high, let's say, I'm now looking for pullbacks. Okay, I'm now looking for pullbacks. On the 4 hour, you might get in, right? You might say, okay, I can see prices break towards upside. You might, as price is in here, let's see, you might get in here, put your stops here or put it here, and maybe hope to get like a 1 to 2, somewhere around here. It doesn't seem unreasonable. It looks like price can easily go back in that range. Or you might wait for a deeper pullback because there is a gap here on the 4 hour that you can potentially tap back into and go towards the upside. In terms of going down further, let's say we go down to the 1 hour, we can see here on the 1 hour what's been going on as well. It's just basically what happened on the 4 hour, but with more detail, right? So here's what I'm going to start looking at. I can see price has broken this structure. The next zone that I might have to worry about, you can clearly see, is right here. Why am I worried about right here? For two reasons. Number one, let me draw another one. I'll show you guys right here. Number one, this area right here was consolidation. Okay, a lot of times price will come back to a period of consolidation, use it as a place to reject. Why? Because there was a lot of pressure in here before price exploded towards the downside. So as you can see, as soon as price came back to the zone, it's starting to reject. Okay, so I'm already concerned about this. So if I'm gonna get into a buy, I gotta wait for something a little bit stronger. Now, if I'm scalping, right, because I am bullish overall, let's say, or I'm hoping that price will continue up towards this side, I'm going to be looking to see if I can catch a little piece of, even if it's just a mini retracement. Let's say price is overall going down, right? Let's say price, the goal or the intended path of price is to come up here, do some stuff like this, and then eventually go down. I'm hoping I can at least catch this move before it continues. That's all I'm hoping for, because remember, I'm scalping. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go down to the 15. I'm going to be looking for areas where there's some good gaps. You can see we have two right here, because this one's already been violated, so you might want to leave that one alone. But we have this one in process of being used, respected, rejected, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and I'm looking at this now. I'm going down to the 1 minute, and I'm trying to see when price gets here if I'm going to get my famous pattern, because again, I just need a piece of this move. Okay, I just need this. That's all I need. All right, so that's essentially what I'm looking at. Now, look at this. Look at what's happened on the 1 minute. Price was going up, okay? You can, like, I'm not even going to draw these little ones, but I guess for those of you who are new, let me make it kind of simple. All right, you can see price is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? And then eventually we get here. Price gives us, technically kind of broke this low, even though it's a wick. So a bit of a lower low, a lower high, and then another lower low. Then price gave us another lower high, a wick down to a lower low. It gave us a higher high above this, but overall still a lower high. Eventually, we made a higher high. Once we made this higher high, okay, as soon as price is in this range, I'm in the trade. I just need price to break this, okay? I would either wait for the retracement or just hop in and aim for a 1 to 2. So you can see here, without making this too confusing, that price was going upwards, forming bullish market structure. I think that's my wife's hair in my mouth. Don't ask how. And then all of a sudden, price started to make bearish structure, right? We started breaking these lows, and now it's giving us lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so that's why it's important for us to wait to see what's going to happen. If price starts, so say for example, I'm bearish, I'm hoping that price is going to return to this area. If price gets to this area here and starts all of a sudden push towards the upside, I'm not getting in, because that means that this zone here was what price was waiting for to most likely go towards the upside. Okay, you got to sometimes decide. Price usually goes from zone to zone, and when you're scalping, you're going to find that within the time frame you're in or the session you're trading, price is going to be in between two zones, and you have to choose which one you're expecting your strategy to take place on, and then kind of take it from there. In this case here, we already missed this train, so I'm not looking for sells. I'm looking for buys, because this train has already taken off. This whole break towards the downside that happened here, it's already going down. So I'm not now looking for sells, because we're in some zones that I'm expecting maybe price will, retrace from. So at this point, if I'm still in the game, it's 10:29, I have half an hour left before my session is closed, I'm looking for price to react in one of these areas. Okay, one of these areas is all I'm looking for. You can see here as well, guys, I'm going to be a little bit all over the place, but just bear with me. These are a lot of things that I've seen over and over from just trading certain pairs. When you see that price has an area like this where it consolidated, jumped up, came back, and then shot up, there's a good chance even if price violates here, it might respond to something in here. Okay, so I'm still going to be looking towards things towards the upside. All right, so again, if I'm scalping, or not scalping, if I'm swinging, okay, I'm waiting for price. Where was I? On the 4 hour. Yeah, I'm waiting for price to see what it does here. Either it's going to break here or come back down into the zone. That's what I'm doing before I start looking for entries. If I'm scalping, like on the 1 minute, maybe even on the 5 minute, which I don't trade, I'm looking to see what price is doing here, because in the short term of things, we have price going up, down, up, right? Higher highs, higher lows. And now we have a little bit of a break. So we have to ask ourselves, is this a start of a reversal, or is it just a retracement? Okay. And so far, I'm hoping it's a retracement. Okay. So that's what we're looking at for Euro CAD. If you're swinging, that's what I think. If you're scalping, those are the two areas I am looking at. Let's go ahead and look at AUD NZD. Caramel Life said, need more indicators, always more indicators. Indicators, listen, indicators are supposed to confirm what you already know. If you rely on them, you're going to get screwed. It's very difficult to, you can follow a strategy like when moving averages, crossover and stuff like that, but essentially you're going to realize that in some market conditions, that strategy doesn't work, and it'll be hard for you to figure out why. And what's going to happen is that because there are so many pieces of information you're analyzing and you're not that experienced yet, you're going to say, oh, you know what? This strategy is all right, but I see people get 1 to 12, so I want a different strategy. You're going to try that strategy. It's not going to work. Why? Because market goes through phases and seasons. There are certain market conditions in which my strategy does not work. There are certain days in which my strategy does not work. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example right now real quick. Let's go to NAS 100. Okay, NAS 100. Where were we? Let me go to the 1 minute today so I could show you guys, or maybe even on the 15. I'll show you guys very quickly. I think it was somewhere. Where was it? Let me go back to the 1 minute so I can see. Once I see it, I'll be able to tell you guys which one it is. I think it was it NAS? Yeah, it might have been NAS. But anyways, long story short, let me just put it this way. Let's say, for example, there's a big no, I'm going to confuse you guys because I can't see it. But we'll use this, for example. Let's just say that this whole zone, right, is from some 15-minute, 1 hour zone in the past, okay? Price gets to my level, gives me what I'm looking for, okay? Every other day, this setup is like 90% to at least give me a 1-to-1. I don't take 1-to-1s, I take at least a 1-to-2, but at least a 1-to-1. On Tuesday, even if price was going back up, it would do this. For whatever reason, it'll go down first, take out your initial position, and then go up. It happens so often. So my win rate on Tuesdays was like 30 or 40%. When I removed it, my win rate went up to like 70 something percent. Okay, so I'm saying to say that your strategy doesn't work in certain market conditions and at certain times or whatever, depending on what your strategy is. So what will happen is that if you have a lot of indicators, you're not going to understand that the reason why the moving average crossover strategy is not working is because we're consolidating. Because when price is trending, whenever it crosses over, you might say, okay, we're reversing, and you might actually get a really good pullback. If price is going down and the opposite happens, you might say, okay, we're reversing. You might get into a nice buy. But when price is consolidating, you're going to get a lot of crossovers, right? Like a lot, because price is moving within a tight range. So every time you go to buy, it's going to go up a little bit and then take you out. Every time you go to sell, you're going to get a little bit of profit, take you out. Because in a ranging market, that strategy doesn't work. So guys, long story short, try your best not to rely on indicators. All right, where were we going next? We were going AUD, NZD. I think that's where we were going next. All right, so AUD, NZD, looks like we've already analyzed this as well before, but I'll get rid of these lines anyways. It's just 3 lines. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this moves prehistorically. So this is perfect, okay? Just by looking at basic market structure, you can see price was going up, broke down towards the downside, and guess what it's doing now? Consolidating. We talked about this yesterday, that whenever prices, let's say, going down, right? Down, 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 and then all of a sudden it starts doing this. It's usually, depending on which time frame you are, it's usually doing this. Okay? There are some times too, especially on lower time frames, price after doing this will just break down some more, come back, retest this, and shoot down some more. So we have to determine which one of these it's going to be. All right? Now, considering the fact that price had these lows, these were the most recent lows when price first went up, and now price has violated this, this may be an indication that we're still going towards the downside. Overall, we're in this incredible range since when? 2013, and we haven't really broken out of it. So price is ranging. On the shorter term of things, if I go to the daily, let me get rid of this real quick. On the shorter term of things, you can see what happened even here. There's many ways you can analyze right here. So look, you have price. Looks like it was doing this a little bit, right? Again, this is all subjective. You may see things differently. Price was doing this. Price was going up, right? Down, up, down, up, down. Eventually came up here, went down, and then it did this. Okay, it was in this tight channel, came down a little bit as a fake out, because when price is going the opposite way, it'll make people think it's breaking towards the downside. And now we're seeing this. Okay, bounced off this area again, it's breaking high. So guess what we're having now? We're having higher lows and higher highs. This is the recent higher high. This is now a higher low, okay? But now we have a lower high, and the reason why we know we have a lower high is because price has broken this level. So what we need to figure out is price going to continue to form bear structure now, or was it just a little retracement and it's going to go up? All right, so this is what we have going on now on AUD and ZD. Now, considering what we looked at earlier, with this price being a little bit of a tanker, it just goes up and then kind of comes down and hasn't really gone up since, I'm a little bit bearish. I'm anticipating somewhere within this range up here, price is going to find some, call it whatever you want to call, support level, or in this case would be resistance, order block, supply zone, gap, you name it. It's going to find some catalyst or factor within this range to push down. We can see it already responded to something up here. There are 2 things up here we can look at. Let me change this real quick to, we'll just do this real quick. All right, so there's 2 things we can look at. We have price that consolidated just a little bit right here. Okay, and look at that when you draw it over. All right, so that's one thing that we can look at. We can also see up here. Oh no, so it's not there yet. So there's a gap right here. Okay, that price may go up to, may not. And that's basically all that I'm looking at. So I can see somewhere within this range, price has used this so far. Again, we got to determine if this is strong enough to push us down continuously, or if it's going to continue to push us to the upside. Considering this was the last low from the swing, or technically it was this was the last push. Considering this was the last swing, right? Price has gone up all the way here, and price, even though it retraced, it has not broken this low. So even though we are seeing bear structure, we're still overall bullish. So we're expecting, no matter what, that price will somehow make its way at least above this high. So again, overall bullish, okay? Even though we're on overall bearish trend. So now that I'm looking at this, if I'm now, if I'm now swinging, I'm going to be waiting for certain areas. So for example, you can see right here, right, that price, one second guys, you can see right here that price has kind of like reacted to this level a little bit. Again, not the cleanest. I want something a little bit better, something like what's going on down here, where you can see when price gets into this zone, let's say, there's like, you can just clearly see, you know what I mean, how price is moving. So I'll actually leave that there. That's one. But then also over here, you can see that at this level, price has respected this level pretty well as well, okay? So what I'm looking for now is if this is an area of an interest, there's also a gap right here, which I would absolutely love because it's like a perfect setup, okay? If I'm swinging and I'm anticipating I'm going towards the upside because price, this was the last swing high or swing low and price hasn't broken this yet, I'm looking for something within this range to continue from, okay? Right now we have a gap and we have a fair value gap, and we have this at this point acting like a support, right? So I'm just waiting now for price, now that price is here, to give me my pattern. So what I would do is that since I'm swinging, I'm going to go down to a lower time frame and look for that setup. You can see here on the 4-hour, we went down, up a little bit more, down a little bit more, up with a wick, down, right? So it's not giving me what I want. At this point, I need price to either come back down and give me a straight like low and then a high, right? Or to give me another one of these. And like that, okay? So I'm just waiting for my pattern. Now, so those of you who swing, again, you might be looking for an engulfing candle. You might be looking for some sort of hammer or something, some pin bar, something that gives you an indication to get into the market. For me, I need to see a little bit more. Price did come down, okay? And then eventually it broke this high. So it could be, depending on who you are, an indication that we are doing this, okay? For me, this doesn't match my criteria, so I'm not getting in. But if you wanted to swing, you're probably looking to get in somewhere around here, stops below here, at least a 1 to 2. Okay, so I would say if you're swinging or you want to, swing, this area is ripe, I think, for some opportunities. I think you can find some good spots within here to swing. If you're scalping, got to go down to the 1 hour. Okay, we can see what's going on here. Price is coming back within this range like we've already marked up. Let's go to the 15. At this point that price has done this, okay, like I've been showing you guys, up, down, up. Okay, this was the last high. Price broke below these lows. Then it gave us a lower high, another lower high, and then now we have, whatever happens here, we have a lower low for sure. Okay, so at this point, again, we need to figure out, is this a retracement, okay, or is this a bearish market? Now, considering what we've analyzed overall, I would be bullish. So I'm not going to be looking for sells. I'm going to wait for price to get into something I can identify within this range here and then take that towards the upside. All right, so let's see if we can find something. We've already there was a bunch of gaps up here. They've already been taken out. This is the latest one that price is currently violating. And then if we go down, we have another tiny one, like a really tiny one. And for those of you who are new, who don't understand why I draw all the gaps, it's because you'll notice over time, price chooses which zone, which catalyst, which whatever it wants to use. You can't rule them out until they rule them out. So I used to be like, oh, I'm not entering anything over here. I'm waiting for price to get to the very bottom. There's so many times where price will take this one or this one and just go up. So what you wait for is price to get to your zone and show you what it wants to do. And then you can hop in the trade or sit on your hands. Okay. So we have this zone here. We have this zone here, or this gap. We have another, is that a gap? No, not really. Okay. There is one more to this side here. Let me just zoom in for you guys. Like right here, there's another one. Okay. So I would say for now, these three, just because of the time frame, I wouldn't look past these three until past price breaks any of these three. I'm not really looking at nothing. So we can go down to the 1 minute now and see what's going on. We're in this zone. Look what's forming. Okay, you can see prices. I hate when this happens. You can see that price is clearly making this type of a channel. And even though this is not concrete yet, you can see that we might possibly have something that's forming like that. Okay, something along those lines. But either way, this line already tells me, based on how things are going, price may break towards the upside. So I'm, again, looking for, even if it's like this, I'm anticipating that price is going to eventually go up. So that's what I'm waiting for. All right. So on the 1 minute, I'm literally just sitting in my hands. I'm waiting for price to give me my pattern, and then I'm out. That's what I'm looking for AUD, NZD. All right. Let me go back to the chart. Blackout said, bro, GU. I'm going to look at GU next. Rudy said hi. What's good, Rudy? Welcome back to the chat, the family, and the live. Or if it's your first time, welcome to the family. Blackout said Morningstar bottom. set forming. Got you. Evening star forming top set. Okay. Got you. As Sanjay said, AUD cat. I'm gonna look at that as well. Can you share analysis on AUD cat? Yeah, I'm gonna look at those. Let me do GU first because GU was asked before yours. I just want to take a look at where we are right now. All right, so we were gonna do AUD. We'll do those after. Let's do GU because people on the live actually want those instead. So let's do GBP USD. All right, so let's get rid of all these drawings here. All right, GBP USD on the weekly chart, we can see that this has prehistorically been going down. Okay, you can see clear as day. All right, this is a loose drawing, but you'll get the point. Then it like consolidates in here, shoots up again, up, right? So we've been making lower lows and lower highs essentially, okay, especially within this recent range. This is all price has been doing. So at this point, we have to assume this may be a retracement. Now, it's pretty high up, but it may be safe to assume that we're anticipating this again, right? Because history repeats itself. Price is literally trending downwards, okay? What we got here is a channel. We may break towards the upside, but at least in the short term, we know that price is most likely going to continue downwards. All right, cool. So with that in mind, let's go to the daily. When we go to the daily, we can see that even though we're in this massive channel, what has price been doing for the last, I don't know, April to August, 4 months, I think, right? May, June, July, August. Yeah, 4 months. What has price been doing for the last 4 months? Price has been going up. For the last 4 months, even though we're in a downtrend, we've been going up. So we have to assume, at least for the short term, that we're bullish. Because even though we can see we're in a big channel going towards the downside, we have to still consider what's happening recently. That's what matters. Because even when you're swinging, this is the most recent price action. This is what you really got to worry about. You can see what's happened here. Price went down, broke up, went down a little bit more, and now it's breaking these highs. It broke this high here. It broke this high right here. Okay, so we're anticipating price is going to retrace to something within here to at least get us towards this line. This is what we're anticipating, because if price follows the channel the way we've marked it, then it should be going back up to touch those areas. Nothing is guaranteed, but it's a good indication. All right, so now that we know this is what we want to do. We want to still be careful and look left and see if there's anything that might give us some concern. Okay, so we have this area that was consolidating up there. Okay, we had this area right here that was consolidating. All right, and price has like just skimmed it. Okay, so again, is it going to be super strong? We don't know, but if we draw over where the consolidation was, we can see this area in general has been problematic in terms of price action. So this is something to be very careful of, okay? Price touched it and is starting to shoot down. So again, when that usually happens on a lower time frame, it's best to stay out the market, as price may actually just break these lows and maybe retrace and continue downwards. But because this may take a long time and we're swinging, we might be able to find some opportunities, okay? Let's look at some things that we can identify if we're swinging. Again, we've gone up significantly, so you don't want to be caught. If you're swinging, I would say wait, to be quite honest. Because of this massive bull run that we've had, I don't really want to get into something like this until it retraces a little bit deeper. But for the sake of this analysis, let's see potential areas we can get in. You know me, I'm a gaps guy. So I'm going to start looking at some gaps and see how price responds to those gaps, okay? We have this gap here. This is the first one I'm looking at. I want to see what price does here before I do anything else. We have another one right there, but again, because it's going to take so long to play out, we don't have to really worry. We can also see here that as price is coming down, it is coming down quite smoothly, so it is forming a little bit of a channel, which tells us that when price is moving like that in a very like systematic, uniform manner, it's usually going to do what you think it's going to do. So which means that we're anticipating at some point, whether it's at this level, right here, or even at somewhere down here, that price is eventually going to do this. It's going to break out this channel and go towards the upside. We don't know how long it's going to go, but that's what we're looking at. So if I am swinging, I'm going to look at anywhere within this zone. I also have to be mindful of right here. You can see within this region, price, tapped into here, kind of shot down, came back, didn't really do much, kind of used it to bounce off. So I'm now going to be looking at here as a potential support. Potential. Okay, so if I'm swinging, my whole strategy is going to, or my whole setup is going to be based off of something within this range right here. This entire range is what I'm looking at. So if I'm swinging, I'm setting an alert right here, right? Saying price is entering my zone. That's what I'm doing. I'm setting an alert here to see what happens when price gets to this level, and I'm just going to be ready to take the trade when that occurs. All right. If I am scalping, I'm going to have to go down to the 1 hour. Okay. We can see within this channel, we've been going downwards. Price has been making lower lows and lower highs and somewhat respecting structure. Okay. You can see right there, right there. Okay. So this is the last low. Now, this last low, price has been bouncing off of it and is breaking down. This tells me something might change within this area, to be quite honest. Price is supposed to come down, break way below, use this again and go down. It didn't do that. It used it to come back up, then it went down a little bit lower and it's rejecting within this area. So that tells me price may do one of these. All right, so I'm going to be looking at how price action is forming and keeping an eye out. All right, so at this point where price is doing this, it's telling me that who knows, maybe somewhere within this area like we've overall analyzed, we might be going up towards the upside. So I'm going to go down to the 15. Now, if I look left, everything is too far away for me to say, oh, there's a gap here, let me use it. I can't, because of the fact that price is so far on this side and there's nothing in recent time that I can use to support my analysis of going up. I have to wait. I'm either going to continue to get in sells because we're in a downtrend, or I'm going to wait till price gets to this area that we already marked up to go for a buy. So if you're trading GBP USD right now, I personally would wait for both swinging and for scalping. I don't really see anything unless you want to get into one of these two gaps here. Okay, that's not even a gap, just this one right here. Okay, unless you want to wait to see how price responds here, you can say, okay, when price gets into this level, oops, wrong one. You can say when price gets to this level right here, I'm going to wait for my pattern and go down. I personally would leave it alone. Not really interested, only because the potential for this is just down to here. It's a bit iffy. All right, but if you're scalping, essentially, I would say wait for price to get into this zone that we already marked up right here. Let me just do this real quick. This zone that we already marked up right here. And if you are swinging, same thing. Wait for price to tap this zone and then look for entries. All right, so that's my analysis for GBP USD. The next one was AUD CAD. So let's take a look at that real quick. AUD CAD. All right, AUD CAD, you can see we've already analyzed this before, but we're going to do it again so we can get a fresh look. All right, so when we look at this pair, prehistorically, you can see, essentially, this is what we got. We got price was up here. Oh, wrong one. You can see price was up here, came down, went all the way here, broke lower, okay? It didn't continue. It ended up coming right back to the same area and then going up. So already, before I continue anything else, I can tell this zone is going to be problematic anytime price comes into it, no matter what, okay? So we have price doing that. Price eventually goes down this way, breaks below. You can see how it's playing around this area, right? It's creating this little bit of a channel before it breaks down, okay? And then now it's broken up back to this level, and now we are here, okay? It's going to look a little messy, but I'm going to explain my position. You can see here, price was going down, came back up to this zone, broke down, came back again into this zone, and has gone down. But we have a bit of a problem, and I'll tell you why. After price came down here and broke these lows and came back up, this low right here was technically broken, but it was grazed. It was like wicked, and price has now started to go back up this way. So I'm overall bearish at this time because of this massive channel. This massive channel that we've been in for a hot minute. I'm overall bearish, okay? But because you can see how price has been moving since we broke this high, guess what we are anticipating in the long term? Which means what? Okay, so do with that what you will. It depends on who you are and how you're trading. If you're doing some long-term trading, I mean, this is the weekly, right? So for all of this to play out, it's going to take a hot minute. But right now, we're in a downtrend, and we're anticipating price is going to eventually, in the long term, pull up. All right, so here we are. Price has come down to this level. This was the last swing. Price went up this way, came and grazed this. This is going to be a judgment call on your part as to whether or not you want to look at this as a break of structure, because it makes a big difference. If this is a break of structure to you, or change in character, market structure shift, whatever you want to call it, then guess what you have to look for? You have to look for sells in these areas, because you're anticipating that because price broke down, it's supposed to find something within this range to continue, because price, when it's trending down, should not break the recent high, right? So you're not anticipating price to come up here. You're looking for something to go down there. However, if this is not a correct break for you and this is still a valid swing low, then guess what you're waiting for? Okay, which means at this point, you're looking for something within these zones here to continue towards the upside. All right, whenever I see things like this, as much as I can lean towards a side, I tend to kind of just leave things alone because things are not that clear to me. But again, we can do some general market structure type stuff and see what we can deduce from all this, okay? So if I start marking up some zones just to say, okay, price came into here, kind of give us strong reactions, you can see we have this. And since price kind of came into this area, we've been going down, which means my range so far, at least the limit for my range is right here. If I do take a buy anytime, or if I'm looking for a buy, if we get into this area at any time, I'm out, okay? Because once it gets to the zone, we're going to have complications. The other thing I can look at is on the short term. Let's see how price has been responding here, okay? You can see that every time price came within this zone, and again, these are all subjective, okay? Every time price came within this area, you can see price has had a strong response, and now it's bouncing off of this same area towards the upside. So I can look at this and say, okay, since I'm swinging, I can go down to the daily. All right, take a look and say, okay, it looks okay, but I don't like how it wicked down this far. So that doesn't give me too much confidence. But you can say, okay, I'm going to wait till price gets back into here, right? Or I'm going to wait till price maybe comes down here, because I can see down here that price, you know, may also form something. But again, you're swinging. So this is going to take a long time to play out. I'm going to go down to the 4 hour. I look at the 4 hour. I analyze the structure. I can see that price was going up, then down, then up, then down. And then eventually we broke above. Okay, so I can say, all right, somewhere within this range, there was some catalyst that pushed price towards the upside. Therefore, I'm going to wait for price to return somewhere within here and go towards the upside. So if I'm swinging, this is the zone I'm looking at. I'm waiting for price to get to this zone for a buy. In terms of sells, all you really got is two things, okay? The first thing you've got, you can see right here, somewhere in this zone, price, every time it came up here, went down, came back above it, pushed up. Came down below, pushed down, came down below, pushed down. So something within this zone, okay? If I'm looking for sells, all right? You know me, I love my gaps. So based on what I'm analyzing here, the closest thing to that would be this gap. So I would technically just wait for price to get back into this gap, all right? If I'm looking for sells, that's all I'm looking for. Sells over here, buys over here. Over here, you can say, okay, there's a gap right here that price used before to go towards the upside. So therefore, this is what I'm looking for to do. Okay, so if price reaches this zone here first, I'm going to look for my sell. If price reaches this zone first, I'm going to look for my buy. That's it. All right, price goes from zone to zone, and you're trying to mark them up to see which one has the best probability for you. Okay, K-Dot said, what's up, K-Dot? Welcome back, bro. What's good? What's good? What's good? I hope you're having a great trading day today. All right, so if I am scalping, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour, and you can see that price, you know, ranging just a little, right? Just a little, and it's now kind of like broken out of this. So that's something to look at. I'm going to technically go down to the 15 because price is already tapped here and kind of made its way down. I can, if I want, just to be a little bit safe, I can kind of, I can kind of do this, where I say, okay, this is the next, you know, zone or level that I'm looking at. And I can look at it from here, and I can say, okay, let me go down to the 15 and see if there's anything within this range that I can take. Again, these are really far away, so I don't want to base any of my gaps on something here. The fact that price is so far away makes me uncomfortable. I personally would not trade. I would just say we're already in this zone. If I see on the 1 minute that price gives me my pattern, so as we're going down, right, it goes down further and then breaks above, I'm going to take this and go up. Other than that, I really don't have a position on here. All right, so for AUD, excuse me, for AUD CAD, this is what my analysis is. Right now, I'm anticipating for the most part, if we continue down, to buy. Okay, I'm overall bullish for this in the short term. Swinging, kind of the same thing, but as you saw overall, we are in a bit of a down channel. All right, so we have to keep that in mind. So that's AUD CAD. All right. If you're scalping, once again, these are the only areas that I would consider getting some, into something for on the 1 minute. And if I am swinging, then I'm technically kind of waiting for this zone. All right. Let's do, KDOS said GJ completely reversed on me. We were just looking at GJ. So I want to take a look at that after, once I go through the other recommendations that people have. Caramel sent me a list. We just did AUD CAD. We did AUD NZD, Euro CAD, Euro GBP. Did we do Euro NZD yet? No, right? I don't think so. So we can do Euro NZD. All right. Euro NZD. All right. Let's take a look at this as well. Get rid of all these just to be on the safe side. All right. Euro NZD. Again. All right. You can, it's clear as day. You can see what's happening here. All right. Price was going down, up, down. Eventually it broke up towards the upside, came down, took out these lows. Okay. Made its way down here, and now it's in this corrective channel. So what we got to figure out is what's going to happen. Now, based on market structure and these retail patterns that we were taught, we know that eventually price is supposed to do this based on what we know. All right. But at the same time, in the short term of things, we are somewhat in a bullish trend, even though it's a very small, choppy one. We are somewhat in a bullish trend. So what we got to figure out is where are we in this overall move and where should we get in? Considering we're going up this way, but it's supposed to go down, we're very high up at this channel, which means I'm expecting at some point somewhere within this range for price to start going towards the downside. Okay, so I'm already starting to be bearish. My bias is looking bearish already. All right, so here we are. This is the daily now. What do I notice on the daily? I notice on the daily that looking at just support and resistance, I can see right here that price, right, has been giving us strong reactions to this level. Look at this, all the way down here. Okay, all the way down here. You can see that price, whenever price came to this level, we got strong reactions. So this is my first one. Okay, if I'm looking for a buy, this is the first zone, and we're already close in the retracement. So that's a good sign. All right, so this is what's it's looking like on the daily. Obviously, if I wanted to catch a good retracement or something like that, there's a bunch of gaps within here, right, that I can use. There's one right here. Oh my God, I didn't just do that. What were we doing at Euro NZD, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So there's a gap here. There's a mini gap right there. There's another one right here, right? There's so many that I can look at if I want to get into. But if I'm swinging, it's different if I'm scalping. If I'm swinging, I'm not touching any of these. If I'm swinging, especially considering, right, where we're going in the channel, I'm waiting for some gaps up here because I'm swinging. On swinging, I want to see structure being formed correctly and structure supporting my analysis. So over here, if I'm going to swing, I'm going to look at gaps. If I'm going towards the downside, gaps somewhere within this range. So let me change the color so you guys know what I'm talking about. Here's one. Okay, this I wouldn't touch, but I'm just going to change it for you guys. Okay, and worst case scenario over here. If price starts reaching this gap here, I'm going to be very skeptical. This one. Let me change this color. If price starts getting to this gap right here, I'm going to be skeptical. I don't mind price because sometimes price will do that. Price is going down. It'll go past the zone, right? Come down a little bit. Instead of it to go like this and come down, it might go to here first. Like it always goes up just a bit before tanking. So I'm okay. But if price starts going towards here, I'll be a little concerned because what's to say price is not doing this, right? Came down and price is here. What's to say price is not going to do this, right? So at that time, I would wait for more confirmation. So if I'm swinging, these are the zones I'm looking at. Let me do this. If I'm selling, this is what I'm looking at. If I'm buying, I'm looking at something in here, okay, for a buy. All right. So right now, if I'm swinging, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm setting an alert for right here. I'm setting an alert for right here. I'm not getting into anything else because anything within this range is just going to give you problems to me. Okay. So if I'm scalping now, I can go down to the 1 hour and start looking at certain things. Now, in the 1 hour, we have an interesting situation here. We have the area we marked up down there, but we also have this. Okay. price came down and started consolidating. Remember what we just talked about in a couple charts ago? We talked about how if price is going down consistently, right? And then all of a sudden it starts consolidating like this. Sorry for the drawings. It usually reverses. Okay? So here we are. We need to figure out, based on what we're seeing here, is this going to be a pullback or is it going to be a full reversal? This is what we have to figure out. And that's why everybody who trades on the lower time frame needs to do a higher time frame analysis. You need these other time frames to give you a good idea of what price is supposed to do. Okay? So now we're going to look at this and say, okay, what are we supposed to do? Well, here's the thing. If I want to scalp, right? So now I'm going on the lower time frames. I know two things. My limit for as to where I can, even if I get into a buy, where I have to come out, get out is here. Once I get into the zone, I'm not playing any games because there's a good chance price might react. This is obviously another one because price broke out of this channel. So what I would like to do if I am scalping is I'm going to start looking for places within here that I can say potentially we might get something. So here's one. It's a consolidation box. I don't trade consolidation, so I'm not going to recommend it. But I can say that I can look at anything close within this range. We do have a gap here on the 1 hour, okay, that we can be mindful of and take a look at what it looks like on the 15. All right, so here's a couple things. Now, for those of you who trade like ICT and stuff like that, you'll see they love stuff like if this gap, I'll show you a different example, but if this gap had like an opposite gap here where, in fact, I could use this. Just use this real quick. So imagine this gap that I just drew over here, right, was almost as large as this. When they see two gaps on the opposite side, like almost equal and stuff like that, they know it's a strong gap, especially if price reacted to it before, and they would use that as a confirmation to take towards the upside, okay? I don't trade like that, just something I thought I'd mention. Anyways, let's go down to the 15 because, again, we're scalping, right? So on the 15 minute now, I'm looking at this range and I'm saying, where is price most likely going to go up on? I can see, number one, we have this gap right here. This is the one that price reacted to recently. So this is the one I'm most interested in. If it fails, I would start looking at this one. Okay, and then eventually you have this one down there, which I'm not really going to mark right now because price would have to get through these two before going down here. So at this point, this is what, if I'm looking to get a piece of the pie till we get to this area, these are the zones I'm looking at. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for price to come down. Sorry, I'm waiting for price to come down into my zone, give me my pattern, and I'm out. Catch my 1 to 2 and I'm good. So that's what I'm looking at. Would I go into any sells? I don't really have a reason to, right? Because on the short term, on the short time frame, on the 1 minute, you can see price broke structure and now is rejecting the zone. But that's the 1 minute. I will never use a 1 minute as a good anything. It's only good for entries for me. I don't ever even consider the structure because there's too much movement. There's way too much noise, too much things going on that you can't take it to be a strong indication of anything unless you've already marked up a higher time frame. So I can see here that price has come down here, right? Broken this level, and now it's making its way up. What's to say that price is not reacting off of this gap that we just marked up here and is not planning to head to the heavens, right? So that's why I personally wouldn't do anything. I'm just right now, I'd be waiting for a buy. The best I can do is if price somehow gives me what I'm looking for over here, I might consider. But I still wouldn't touch it, to be quite honest with you guys. I would not. So just to recap, if I am swinging, this is the area. I'm going to change this as well. I'm going to just make this purple. Okay, if I'm swinging, this is the area I want the most. I feel like this would give me the best reaction. Why? Because when I get into something around this zone, my stop loss isn't that far out. This gives me a much better risk reward towards the zones that I'm worried about. I can even try and push it towards the bottom to get a 1 to 3. And if we're overall supposed to be going towards this channel, I might be able to, depending on how I manage my trade, do that, right? So this is what I'm looking at if I'm swinging. If I'm scalping, like I said, you can play this risky game if you want to. I'd personally wait for price to get into one of these areas before I start, you know what I mean? Getting into buys. So that's it for Euro, NZD. We did GJ. Did we do GBP, CAD? No, I don't think so. So GBP, CAD. That'd be the last one. Oh my God, I need some water, bro. I have not had breakfast. I have not had anything. Yes, K dot inversion gap. You're right. It was on my mind. I just couldn't bring it up. You said he's short on EU. We'll take a look at that as well. All right. So this is the last one, which is GBP CAD. This is the last pair we're going to look at before we do some other things. All right. When I start these lives, I'm hoping to do some form of a live trade, especially on Forex, but the analysis takes so long that I sometimes miss it. But anyways, we're going to be starting our series, so that'll be that. But anyways, we can see here price, as you can see, came down, right? And it's down here. What do we say about when price consolidates after a long bear run or bull run? It consolidates and it shoots back up, okay? So price went back up to here, and then it's making its way down here again. Then what happened? Price also ranged, okay, before breaking towards the downside, but now we're back up to this area of consolidation, which usually means price is either going to find something down here and go there, or it's going to continue going up. All right. So the fact that I've seen this amount of ranges within this time tells me I got to be careful with this pair when it's ranging. It's not a pair that when it's ranging, I even want to go near. Okay. So we can see that this is prehistorically a bearish pair because for the most part, price has been pushing towards the downside. All right. So with that in mind, let me mark up some other zones that I can look at and say, okay, when price gets to this level, I can see it could be a concern. And as you can see, prehistorically, whenever price is coming to this area, right, came down, kind of bounced up, went up, bounced up a little bit, came down, and then bounced down some more. Came up and bounced down some more, came back up above it, bounced, went up, came down, broke through, used it to go back down, used it to go back down, used it to go back. So you get the point, right? So it's a strong level. So now that we're at this level, I'm definitely looking for sells, okay? I'm definitely looking for sells. I'm looking at this little channel that we got going on here, if I can even call it that. Oops. Okay, I'm looking at this little thing that we got going here, which this is very steep, by the way, but we should get this, right? This is what we're looking for. So I'm already bearish. I'm not really looking for anything in terms of buys. So at this point, I'm going to go down to the daily and the 4 hour. On the daily, I can see in this short term, we're in an uptrend, but because of where we are, you can see price is broken above and it's starting to make its way down. I'm starting to look for another area to re-enter. This zone here, something up here is not allowing, is not allowing price to continue upwards. Now we can still get a push up, right? But I feel like we're in a ripe time, right, to get into a trade. So look what happened on the daily. Daily came up, right? We were making higher highs, higher lows. Gosh. We were making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? And then price broke this. As soon as price broke this, which is what I would love to see, I would already been in the trade. But we're here now. We can't say that. That's hindsight. So guess what's happening? Price is now retracing to this level. So guess what I'm looking for? I'm looking for something within this area to continue towards the downside. Because on the daily, which is a lot stronger than all the other time frames, I can see that we've already started making bearish structure. Okay? And even though, we have broken out of this downward channel a little bit, I'm still anticipating that price, because of how strong this zone is and where we are overall, that price is going to go down. And as you can see, as soon as price came and touched this zone again after breaking this, look at the strong momentum it's pushing with, right? So at this point, this might be an engulfing candle. By the way, guys, for those of you who can't recognize engulfing candles, there's an indicator you can use. I have it here. Right there. Okay? You see that? So all my engulfing candles that are bearish are purple. All my engulfing candles that are bullish are blue. Now you can't really see because the colors I'm using for my natural graph are not great. For my candlesticks are not great, but you can see right here, this is a engulfing candle. This is a bearish engulfing candle, okay? So if you have a hard time recognizing engulfing candles, there's an indicator for it. If you guys want me to pin it in the chat or type it in the chat or something or show you guys, just let me know, okay? Don't rely on this too much, okay? Like I said earlier, indicators are supposed to confirm what you already know. Don't rely on it too much. It's just supposed to help you, especially if you're waiting to get an engulfing candle where you're trying to get in, it's good. Other than that, I would say leave it alone, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this engulfing. There we go. All right. So what I'm looking for at this point is something to get back in here from and take it from there. So let's go to the 1 hour. I feel like the 1 hour or the half hour would give us a nice setup. So I don't see any gaps. So this would be, oh, there's one right here. It's a big one, but there's one right here. So with this gap right here, I would just be paying attention. I'd be waiting for price to kind of give me my entry signal, and then I would shoot down. I could go down to the half hour, you know what I mean? And see if there's maybe something a little bit better up here. There's one more gap up here. Okay, so I would be looking at these two. This would absolutely be my last, on a swing, this would be my last setup. But anything above here, I wouldn't even look at. All right, so you can see price kind of came into the zone, violated a little bit, but it's still pushing down. So if I'm swinging, again, I am bearish, and this is a ripe opportunity to get in. This is a perfect place to get in. Now, if price decides it's going to close like this, okay, so prices come up here, right, down, shot up, and now it's shooting down, and it decides to do this, I'd be a little careful. Because even though we're overall bearish, this is starting to form bullish. It hasn't broken yet, but it shouldn't be retracing up that high again. But you can use your judgment call. If it breaks above that, then yeah, be careful. If not, you might be able to find another re-entry and take it towards this side, okay? If you're swinging anywhere within this range, okay, that you get into, even if you put your stops past the last swing, let's say right here, or even here to be safe, right? You're still going to get at least a 1 to 2. A 1 to 2 is right here, which is the last like really strong structure. Price didn't break that yet. So you know you can at least get that, okay? If you want, you can try and aim for this trend line right here that we marked up if you want. Or you can really try for the extreme and go for that. It's up to you. If you're swinging, that's what I would do. If I'm scalping, again, I'm still bearish. It's going to be the same thing. There's a 15-minute gap right here that actually coincides a little bit better than the 1 hour. So this was it. So this is even better. And look what happened. Price came in here and gave us the pattern we're looking for. Now, again, I don't trade on the 15, but this would be exactly what I would be aiming for. As soon as price breaks that level, I'm going through. I trade on the 1 minute. So up here, I would have waited for price to give me some form of a confirmation. Price went too far out, so I probably would have missed it, unfortunately. But if it did give me that pattern within this range, I would have just taken it. You know, let's assume it was this. I would have taken it, put my stops be above the high, aimed for a quick 1 to 2 because we're scalping. And that's that. All right. So if you are trading GBP CAD, I am bearish on both swing and scalping. I'm not a swing trader, but I'm just analyzing for those who are. And you just take my analysis with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert. I'm just like you guys, and I'm just sharing my experience. All right. So that is that. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So those are all the pairs we analyzed today. I'm going to look at some of the trade setups that some of you guys have going on. I know K-Dot said he was in EU and GJ. What are your coordinates? Okay, so he gave me TP on TP 2.5R. That's pretty good, bro. Yesterday you had like 11R, so that's amazing. What are your coordinates or your price levels for your trades if you want to share them? Shout out to K-Dot, by the way. He always shares what he's in, and we get to watch him either, win the trade or lose the trade, and he's a good sport about either way. So K-Dot, let us know what you got going on. Let's take a look at some of these indices real quick to see what today would have been like. Okay, today, where are we at right now? It's 9. I don't trade on Tuesdays, and as you can see, Tuesday just like tanked. I doubt even on the 15 or on the half hour I'd have seen anything crazy. We had these gaps from before that. Let's see, right here we're at 9 o'clock. All right, let's go back. While K-Dot is putting in the coordinates, let's go back to what would have happened today. How would I have traded today? Let's take a look, okay? So it is pretty busy, so just bear with me here. Let me actually go to a cleaner chart. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so can we find one more? Man. Well, this is US 30. Okay, let's see. Oh, I only have 2 for NOS. Okay, cool. Whatever. All right, so I get to the charts. I'm going to actually hide the drawings real quick. I just want to get a cleaner look. All right, cool. So I get to the charts. I can see that price was going up, broke that. We're starting to go down. We've also broken these levels right here. So we're in a downtrend. Okay, so at this point, gosh, I apologize. At this point, I am bearish. Okay, I'm drawing my gaps on the 15. I have one major gap right here, which means I'm just literally anticipating for price to get into that zone and then go down. I have no reason to be bullish right now because you can see what's been going on here recently. All right, so I would have been bearish. Everything here is too far for me to use, but I would keep this one in mind. By the time I get to the charts, this is still a possibility. This is already being violated. I wouldn't care about this, okay? So I would go down to the 1 minute and simply just wait till my time starts, okay? We have news today, it looks like, as well, at 10 o'clock. So I'd have to keep that in mind as well. But anyhow, we can see it's 8 o'clock. I don't trade till 8:30. Okay? All right, so around 8:22, price is in this zone. And it's given us what we were looking for already, but it was before my time. So let me get rid of this real quick. All right? So you can see, and let me get rid of this as well real quick. You can see that price came earlier into this zone, but it was at 8:22. And now, around 8:30, price is going back into this range. And if you've noticed, if this ends up going down, that'll be cool. But the reason why I don't trade before 8:30 is because I noticed this too much. If I get into a trade before 8:30, price will usually do something like this, take me out, and then go down. So I hate trading before 8:30. I always wait till after 8:30. Even when I miss the whole move, I don't care because of that. Do you see just a single candle or order blocks or multiple candle order blocks? To be honest, like, wait, what are you asking? Which time frame? Help me understand a little bit better. Close to TP and GJ. Okay, that's okay. So you gave the coordinates. So I'm gonna check it out just now. Donovan's here. What's good, Donovan? What's good? Good to see you, brother. Put fire emojis in the chat. Titan said, "I'm here, brother." Titan, you carried the live yesterday, brother. Good for. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back. It was live to have you yesterday. All right. So if I'm trading NAS this morning, which I would mostly look at US 30 because that's my favorite of the three so far. Right now you can see price kind of violated us there. And then we had, this is tricky. We had price do this, go up, go down, go up a little bit more and go down. So at this point, this is a judgment call. This is very aggressive, very aggressive. But there are some days, right, where this looks good enough to me. I'm in here, or two positions, one right here, another one right there. And I'm aiming for at least a 1 to 2. So what ends up happening is that I have one when price comes down to this level. Okay, let me get rid of this. When price comes down to this level, I'm aiming for a 1 to 2. And then in case it retraces, there's another one that I hold up to about a 1 to 4. Okay, and this is what I would do. Now there's a lot of things wrong with this situation. Number one is Tuesday. Tuesday is full of manipulation. My setups just don't work on Tuesday, so I'm not expecting this to win. But on top of that, again, this is super aggressive because here's the thing. When price is breaking structure, you want it to be clear as day. For example, if I ask you right now, is this a swing high? You would say no. There are days where I say, to me, kinda. Because, price came down and I would use that as structure. I would say, especially those of you who are new, wait for a clear structure. Like you can see it's formed properly. Don't do this aggressive stuff because you're going to develop bad habits of getting into really tight and choppy trades that will end up doing stuff like this, right? You're going to get in. You're like, okay, I'm in here. And it's going to take you out first before making the real move like that. And when it's all said and done, you're going to say, shoot, I should have known this wasn't clear enough. I should have just waited for it to really break and really go down. All right, so for the sake of this example, we're going to have two positions in. We're going to see what happens. And then if not, remember, I can take 2% loss a day or maximum of 2 trades. This is one trade with 2 positions. So it's still considered one trade to me. So we'll see if we can find another one if price doesn't. Oh, okay, so this one ended up winning. Now, I'm not going to claim the glory for this because we had hindsight. We saw today when we came on the chart that this channel was already forming. It was supposed to go down. So I'm not going to really look at it like, oh, yeah, that would have won. It's hindsight. But in real life, that would have been my option because remember, it's 8:20 right here when price gave me what I was looking for. It was already 8:24. It's too early for me to get into the trade. I always wait till at least after 8:30. So after 8:30, after seeing this is where I would have got in. I would have gotten for 2 positions and I would have made only 1% because one of them would have been a half position or both of them would have been half position. So 0.5 and 0.5. That way, if I lose both positions, I only lose 1%. But if I win both positions, this 0.5 will earn me 2%. And this 0.5 will earn me 1%. So I'll make 3%. All right. So that's what I would have done for now. So that's interesting. But I couldn't trade today because Tuesday is against my rules, right? I don't trade on Tuesdays. So that's what would have happened. I have this area marked up. Let's see if price ended up coming down here. What happened at 9:30? 9:30. All right, there you go. You see how 9:30 just moves with violence like it's a news candle? It's insane. So, all right, so price gets here. I've already bought. Let's see if it's going to give us what we're looking for. I think this is the example I want to show you guys earlier, but it's past our zone, so it doesn't make sense. But let's just assume it's in our zone, okay? On Tuesdays, this is why I don't trade on Tuesdays. Every other day when you get into your zone and you see this setup, it's giving you exactly what you need. You've come down, you've gone up, you've broken structure, you're good. Okay, you can get into any of these and go up. All right, let's watch what happens. I guarantee you Tuesdays are like this, and I don't. And before you guys say, well, it's clearly a downtrend, don't talk to me. I trade this every day on downtrends and in uptrends. It doesn't matter, and I win. Tuesdays, it doesn't matter if it's trending up or down, you will lose. It always manipulates you first before going in your intended direction. Okay, in this case, it's probably going to continue to fall because Tuesdays also. Oh, and I told this to Marcus as well. Marcus can bear me witness if it was in here. Tuesdays, it'll choose a direction and it'll just fall. I remember one time he's like, bro, I want to try indices. So he went on a Tuesday. He's like, bro, the markets are just crazy. Like, I can't even get in, just falling. I'm like, yeah, this is what happens on Tuesdays with indices. They just usually tank. And Fridays, what will happen is that Fridays, it'll pick a direction as well, usually bullish, and it'll just go. It'll give you a little bit of manipulation, but after it starts to go, like, it will not stop until the end of the whole session. You'll usually close the entire day somewhere up in here, right? So I know these pairs very well, and I don't trade them at certain times. So this is what happens on Tuesdays every time. When I was doing my back testing, I realized that on Tuesdays, none of my setups don't work at all. Like maybe one out of like 10 trades. I'm like, nah, that's not normal. Got rid of Tuesdays, traded Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, became profitable. All right, so this would have been our setups for today. All right, let's go take a look at K-Dot's positions. He's on GJ, I believe. He said, for a bullish order block, would you need to have one candle that gets engulfed or multiple down candles being engulfed by one up candle? Okay, so I don't trade. I know somebody who trades the engulfing. This is what they look for. So let me just explain to you guys what K-Dot is asking. So let's say, for example, price was getting in here. Okay, I'm gonna change this real quick, and we're gonna assume. See if I can actually draw this further out. All right, so this is perfect. Let's assume this is an order block, because it kind of technically could be, but not the best one. So let's assume this is an order block. This is perfect. All right, so this is an order block. We're assuming that prices come down to our level. What K-Dot is asking is, when price gets to my level, do I look for one engulfing candle, right? Which means I gotta zoom in to really show you guys this. An engulfing candle means that this whole candle's body was engulfed, was overlapped, swallowed, whatever you want to call it, by the next candle. So for example, if we have something like this is considered engulfing. Why? Because look at the body of this candle, look at the body of this candle. We had candles coming down, and when price came to our zone, it gave us a candle that completely swallowed the previous candle. What does that tell us? It tells us that the volume from this area is large. And because it completely swallowed this candle, it's probably a good zone to enter a trade because we're going up with force. So what K-Dot is asking me is that, do I wait to see just one of these, multiple, morning star, evening star, and things like that? I'm going to explain it with two answers. Number one, if you guys have been here long enough, you know I trade a specific pattern. At this point where price is coming up and down like this, I'm waiting for price to give me something like this, breaks the lower low, gives me a higher high, and I'm in. Okay? I have not a friend. I know a person who trades something called the 1, 2, 3 engulfing pattern. So he will wait. He will see one red candle, two red candles, a third red candle. Okay? A third red candle. Let's just do this. Okay? And then when this candle is done and the next one engulfs it like this, so say something like this, and let's make this taller. Guys, please forgive the illustrations, bro. This is not I'm not an art major. All right? So if he gets something like this, he's in. He waits for what's called a 1, 2, 3 engulfing. Okay? All right? He's waiting for 3 candles. Candle 1, candle 2, okay? And candle 3. That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for 3 candles of the same color to be engulfed, or for the last one to be engulfed by this one. So whenever price gets to his zone, he waits for 1, 2, 3 When he sees this engulfing candle, he's in. He's in right away. He's in like right here. Stops right below the candle. And his aim is like always usually like the next zone. So he'd be aiming for like, no lie, probably like up here. Okay, that's how he trades. He's not the only one. There's another, I interviewed a pair of brothers. They trade not this exact pattern, but they aim for heights like this. Crazy trades, okay? So for me personally, K-Dot, I would just wait for my strategy to play out. But I don't wait for specific candles. It's not an engulfing candle or a hammer or a doji. It's simply my pattern formation. Once my pattern forms, I'm in the trade. All right? He said... Blackout said both. Okay, so Blackout's responding to K-Dot. K-Dot said, I was wondering because I kind of flip and flop between both. I'm trying to keep it consistent. Oh, okay. I can only recommend what works for me, which is my pattern formation. If you find the 1, 2, 3 or whatever engulfing candle works for you, stick to that. But the thing is, you'll only know by backtesting. You got to consistently backtest and forward test, but consistently backtest one at a time and then compare the two. If you guys saw, I had 4 years worth of data. You got to go through all of them. You do one backtesting session with one, let's say 1 to 3 engulfing, and then another backtesting session with one with just the pattern or whatever, okay? And that way you'll know which one is more efficient, which one is more of a higher probability, okay? And he said, when I was making algos, I tested the methods on daily, and it seems promising. Keep going, bro. Keep absolutely going. All right, let's take a look at K-Dot's coordinates here, and then we'll probably wrap up this live. All right, guys? So let's go back to GJ. GBP, USD. Oh, I'm sorry. GBP, JPY. All right, so K-Dot said he was in at... all right, so let's put in... I'm just going to do this. Was it a sell or... Yeah, I think he was short. So he said his entry price was 190,673. Okay. He said his where are we at? His stop loss was 190,605. Where's the stop loss? Right here. 190. Oops. All right, and his TP. What the heck is going on? That can't be right. 190. What is going on here? 190,605 for stop loss. Okay. And then entry price was 190,673. Okay. Okay. And then his TP. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. That's why it's going like that. That's me. Entry price is over here. Okay, there we go. And then his TP was 191,093. Okay, so if I did this correctly, why does this... Am I tripping? Bro, this can't be right. What is going on here? Profit is 190. 191,039. I'm sorry. I think that's what he said. Yeah. Okay, so that's supposed to be TP. So what the heck is going on here? And then stop level is 190,605. Bro, I give up. I don't know what the heck is going on, bro. I don't know what's happening with the coordinates. Unless I'm tripping. 190,673. Okay, is the entry. I can't even go down. Okay, so that's the entry price. Stop loss is 190,605. Oops. 605. Okay. And then 191. Oh, it's a long. Oh, no wonder. Why don't you just say that? All right, so let's do this again. So let's do the TP first because that'll just be easier for me. So TP is 191.031. Okay, 191.039 is his TP, and then entry price is 196.73. So let's just change these ones. Okay. All right. So far, not looking too bad. And then stop loss is 196.05. Perfect. All right. So on GJ, this is where, so I'm assuming you got in probably around here, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it. This is the only one that makes sense. Unless you did this way before. Let me see something. All right. Does that look right to you? Let me know if that looks right to you. All right. So this is the trade that K-Dot is in right now. Yesterday he was up. What did you get for that last trade yesterday? Like a 1 to 11? And what was your, how much percent were you up? He had a really good trade yesterday. All right. For those of you who are just joining, if you are, we're going to wrap up soon. Sorry. But you missed a lot of analysis. We analyzed all these pairs here. Okay. And about 3 others. Okay. So you might have to watch it back. But if you are new, welcome to the family. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. We do this every single day. I stream for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day. All right. So if you missed today, don't be sad. We will get you again tomorrow. Yesterday's live was lit, bro. Yesterday was so far. We chopped it up. We had a great time. It was really good. I'm confused. Your chart looks different to mine. Yeah, it's probably the one that I'm using. I'm using Owanda. You're okay. FXCM. Okay, let's see. GBP USD. This is why, guys, that I have so many different charts for the same pair. So you can see here, look, right? So for NAS, I have 2. For US30, I have 3. For SPX, I have 2. For gold, I have 3, right? Because they all look so different and the price points are really different as well. All right, so let's try this again. It's a long, and the entry price is, oh wait, this is GBP USD. He was on GJ, my fault. GBP JPY, and he said on FXCM. All right, cool. So again, it was a long. His entry was, or his take profit was, I got to go back up 1 second. All right. So TP was 191.039. Okay, that was TP. And then stop was 196.05. And then entry price was 196.73. Oh, there you go. Very nice. It's like a 1 to 5, almost a 1 to 6. So I don't know when you got in. I don't know. You would have to. Does this look right to you? I was up around 9%. That's crazy. My notion wasn't working, so I didn't get to record it. It's all good, brother. When you realize every day is a new opportunity, it helps alleviate FOMO. Oh, absolutely, Titan. That's absolute facts. When you guys realize, if you guys watch my series and you watch me trade, you always hear me say, it's okay, we'll get him on the next one. Because if your risk reward is at least a 1 to 2, you'll be fine. All right, you'll be fine. You don't have to jump into every trade you see. You don't have to jump into every opportunity you see. Sometimes you got to sit on your hands. All right, so this is playing out to be, I mean, we still got quite a few ways to go, but a really strong push towards the downside. Did we do Euro USD? No, the other day we did this one here. This was the example we took. This is the one K-Dot. So this is the one K-Dot was in yesterday, and it was like a 1 to 12. So that was pretty cool. All right. I usually trade, if you guys are new here, I usually trade indices, US30 and all that stuff. That's what I usually trade. All right. So today I don't trade because it's, or I didn't trade. Not I don't trade. Some weird English. Today I did not trade because it's Tuesday. I don't trade on Tuesdays. I only trade on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Okay, that's it. So I only trade that. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. We've analyzed a whole lot. Okay. You guys join the Discord if you haven't already. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the like button for me, guys. It really helps with the algorithm. I did an analysis for 2 hours today, all for free. So please just hit the like button. I appreciate all the time that we spent together. Let me just change my face real quick. I appreciate all the time that we spent together, guys. I'm going to be, if you're not aware, in the Discord, we're going to be doing a couple things. Number one, we're going to be doing a 30-day Forex challenge. I'm going to be creating a channel to help beginners who don't know how to take a profit from challenge go through that. I'm going to be developing a free course as well. And I'm going to be opening up a one-on-one channel so people can call me directly and we can, do one-on-one sessions and stuff like that. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline, so make sure to subscribe and join the Discord. With that being said, I love you all. And I'll see you tomorrow. Titan said, good stream, brother. We'll wait for you tomorrow. For sure. Glad to have you here, Titan, and everybody who joined. Love each and every one of you. Go out there, do great things. I hope you have a great trading week. And as always, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.